Good morning, Business 101 students. This video is regarding your term project. In week one for my online courses, we chose in our first discussion, we chose a company, a publicly traded company. And if you did not reach out to me, I'm assuming that you were able to figure out what a publicly traded company was and post that. I'm going through those posts. The purpose of the term project, if you pull up the instructions there in course-specific items, it will also be listed in the week of the assignment, and it's due at the end of the term. There is also a PowerPoint that is due with the paper. The paper is really just to do an overview of your company, kind of look at your company from various areas. So the purpose of the project is for you to try to figure out your business knowledge by assessing a currently functioning publicly traded company of your choosing, which you've done. And in discussion post 1, each student mentioned a company that they would be interested in reviewing and discussing. Some examples that you may or may not use: Nike, Apple, Google, General Motors, Tesla, Disney, Coca-Cola, or any company traded on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. This project, New York Stock Exchange probably preferred. This project challenges you to apply the various business concepts outlined in this course, the Business 101 course, and assess the current viability and success of your business. So whatever company you choose, by the end of, or as you near the end of the term, you will have the tools to, from the different chapters, to really kind of critically look at a company, right? And look at some of the key factors, talk about the company in a knowledgeable way, and then send that in to me and share that in a PowerPoint with the class. As we continue to move through the coursework, you'll hopefully gain knowledge of each of the following areas. So there are 5, I have listed 5 sections or 5 points. If you hit 4 of the 5, these are kind of a smattering of the different items that I am looking for. If you hit some of these, great. They kind of overlap, right? And some of them, most of them, we have not covered yet, but it's to get you thinking about and also writing your paper. It's not a long paper, 2 to 3 pages, including not including cover page or works cited page, which I'll get to in a minute. So some of the things that you are looking for you're looking for and then you're going to write about in your paper. The business environment. Why'd you choose a particular business? And how is that business navigating the world marketplace and handling ethical social responsibility? So we outline those we start to talk about those in chapters 1 through 4. We talk about micro, macro, the world marketplace, some of the social things that are happening, ethical things, ethical considerations that companies are going through. For example, if you choose Nike, I say the first place you would go is go to their website, right? Go to the Nike website, and then you're going to look for something called investor relations. And when you find investor relations on the website, it's either up in the right or down in the bottom, there's a whole list of items. You're going to click on that, and that will take you then to something called a 10K or annual report. And that annual report is typically 100 to 150 pages. And every publicly traded company has to have an annual report per year. Your paper is going to be kind of a short version of the annual report. The annual report goes over a lot of the numbers, a lot of the things that have happened over the last few years, what's currently happening, and then future predictions, right? And so that's going to be one of your best options. Any news on your website, you're also going to find news articles and things happening with your company. You might find some of those items as well in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, different online sites such as the Google Finance, Yahoo Finance. You might be able to find information about your company. All right, so thinking about the business environment. Second, maybe talk about the industry that the company operates in, and mention like how and why it was initially started. If you're talking about a company, say, called Caterpillar, any of you that know Caterpillar, they have large machinery, right, that they build. So that would be the type of industry that they compete in, the large operating machinery. And maybe talk about how it was started or why it was started, Caterpillar initially, if you can find out that information. Third, how's the business doing financially? If you can find this out, how stable or volatile is their stock? If you go to Google Finance or you go to Yahoo Finance, you're able to look at their stock price over the last week, month, year, 5 years, and then historically since their IPO, since they became public. And see, does their stock go up and down a lot, or is it fairly stable in growth or fairly flat? Those types of things volatility would mean it goes up and down a lot. Stable would be fairly growth earning over time. And how is it looking against competitors in the industry? So that's another important component to think about. Fourth, how is the business? And these are items that we haven't necessarily talked about, right? So the next section we talk about later in the semester, but how does the business current marketing mix, how does it operate? And so the marketing mix, the 4 Ps, price, whatever their product is, the pricing strategies, their promotional strategies, right? And their distribution policy or their placement strategies. So we'll talk about the 4 Ps a little bit later. And fifth, what type of employees, if you can find this, does the business hire, and is there any specific leadership style expressed governing your chosen business? Now, these 5 items kind of follow the textbook chapters. So as we go through, you will be able to uncover these different items. You can look ahead and start working on your rough draft. At any point in the semester, you can email me questions. We can set up a time to meet face-to-face or via Teams, or collaborate here on Blackboard. And so then you're going to write up a paper, a 2 to 3 page paper, basically doing a report on your company, touching on at least 4 of these 5 items that I mentioned. And all of this is on your term project paper, project assignment that is posted on Blackboard. Let's see, each student will make also a 3 to 5 slide PowerPoint summary presentation of his or her analysis and submit a clear and concise final paper, 2 to 3 pages, Times New Roman 12 point. And so the last week, our discussion is posting our PowerPoint and then commenting on at least one other person's PowerPoint. And so you'll be posting that as part of your discussion post. And your paper is due by the last day of class. So that last week, we'll be working on the final as well as finishing up our paper. Now, you can hand that in early. Obviously, you can ask me questions early. We can meet in person early. If you have questions about PowerPoint, you can ask me, or you can ask Mary Howells, our librarian. She is amazing with PowerPoint. She has helped many of my students, also helped them finding references, helped them with writing, all of those things. And she is at our West Campus most days, all day. I believe like 8 to 5. You can just email her, though, and make an appointment. Sometimes she is at St. Ben's, our East Campus, but she is available to help as well. So I hope you find the term project exciting and you are excited about your company. And whatever company you pick, you might, it's okay to use that company, or if you've had other courses, you can use the same company, keep looking at it from really kind of follow it through your whole degree process, which a lot of students do in their 2-year degrees, 4-year degrees, and even through their master's programs. They do a deep dive on a company. One of the companies that I looked at while I was working my master's was Starbucks. And so I really got to know Starbucks and everything that they were doing because I kept doing reports on them, depending if it was for a finance class, if it was for a market analysis class, if it was for a marketing class, whatever it might be. All right, good luck with your project. And as always, reach out to me, crobertson@ec3pa.org, or 814-490-6473. Shoot me a text if you have questions.